All right. Well, we are live. We are back with another all new episode of Real Chill Conversations with your girl, Brenna B, and my girl, Dominique. Hey, girl.
Hello.
How are
It's
you?
been a while.
I know it's been a minute. I know they thought we weren't coming back, but we said, no, hell no, we're not doing that. We coming back. We just need to take a little pause. And so that's why tonight's episode is so important because we're going to be talking about setting boundaries and how important it is to set boundaries for your own well being, for your own sense of peace, and just to keep the toxicity as far away from your life as you can possibly keep it. And so we're going to talk about some of our experiences, some of the things that we've done, some situations where we've had to go ahead and we've had to set those boundaries. We've had to draw that line in the sand. We're going to get into it.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things that I know that a lot of us struggle with is balance and being able to balance between all the different things that we have going on. We're working, we're mothers, our kids have activities, our kids have things to do. We have life things happening. Life is lifing. And it just continues to build up and it just continues to layer and layer and layer upon us until we reach a point where it's almost like we're starting to feel like we're fracturing, we're breaking. And when you can take the time to press the pause button and do a reset on yourself, it's the most healthy thing that you can do. And it's very much needed, especially in light of all the different things that we have going on and the things that we've been happening, have had happen to us, the things that we've gone through, the things that we've experienced. It's been a rough couple of months, honey.
You could say that again.
It's been a rough couple of months. So, one of the things I want to talk about in terms of setting boundaries is to give an actual definition and description. Personal boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. A person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to, but they are also comfortable with opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships. And I thought that that was very important because I think that that ties back to being in a position and being in a state where you have healthy communication with the people that you have around you. As long as you have healthy communication and you're not holding on to things and there's not building resentment, I don't see any reason why there's a situation that can't come to a healthy resolution if in fact you do decide to say no to something that they're asking you to do, asking you for, asking you to participate in, things like that. And so I first wanted to lay out that definition of healthy boundaries. And then I just thought it tied in so well with allowing us to be comfortable with being able to say no without worry that we're going to hurt the other person's feelings or we're going to make them feel a certain way. As long as that healthy communication is there and we're having a one-on-one conversation and we're talking about the things that are bothering us, as long as we can do that, then you should be able to say no without having any fear of repercussions. And I think a lot of times we don't say no. We just go ahead and we say yes because we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And that's at the detriment of us. It's us that winds up being left holding the bag because the other person got what they wanted, the other person got what they needed, but here we are left struggling and suffering and hurting and in pain and frustrated and feeling all these different feelings because we didn't have that opportunity or we felt like we couldn't have the opportunity. So I wanted to get your input on that. What do you think?
I was just about to chime in on that because a lot of people, like, you can put healthy boundaries up and say no to people. And in some situations, it's like you get a backlash.
Yeah.
Um, so I had to come to an understanding, in my personal life. I can't feel guilty for saying no. Just because you're not receptive to my boundaries, that doesn't mean I have to, people grow and they outgrow each other in different relationships, not just romantically, but
Right.
friendships and everything else. And I would just say, if that person is not being receptive to your boundaries and they're not willing to respect it, then, you have to grow apart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely some of the things. And knowing your boundaries, it's saying that boundaries should be based on your values or the things that are important to you. For example, if spending time with your family, set firm boundaries about working late. Your boundaries are yours and they're yours alone. Boundaries, for many boundaries, they may align with those that are close to you, but others will be unique. And know your boundaries before entering a situation. This will make it less likely to do something that you're not comfortable with.
That's true. And you know what, Brenna, some people are really good at setting boundaries, maybe at a workplace, but not romantically.
Right.
You
Right.
see, and some people are better setting boundaries romantically, but not in the workplace. It
Right.
can go both ways.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask this question though,
Yeah.
um, to touch on this. How was it setting boundaries for you during the pandemic? Because everybody, well, mostly everybody was stuck at home with kids, husband, or boyfriend. So
Um,
you got to really see how everything was.
it was literally such chaos because everybody was used to everybody being out of the house. I
Mhm.
leave at a certain time to go to work, my husband leaves at a certain time to go to work, the kids are off to school, the dog's in the house by herself chilling, the cat's in the house by himself chilling. When we were all home at the same time and everybody was having to work from home and the kids were having to do school from home, it was like even the dog was like, would y'all just go somewhere? Because we were we were impacting her boundaries of being able to lay wherever she wanted to lay in the house and kick back on the couch like she was just somewhere chilling. But I mean, with the kids, it was a matter of really getting them setting the boundary with them that it was like school was their responsibility. They were going to have to make sure that they were up, that they had eaten breakfast, that they were signed on, they were logged into their Chromebooks, and they were ready to start class. There was going to be no, I'm coming in to wake you up and do all this other kind of stuff and get you ready. You have to, this is your responsibility. You're home now, and school is your job. It's your only job that you have is school. So you have to do that. And then with my husband, it was just a matter of space, like trying to generate some space, some me time, whether it meant me just going off and like going and soaking in the tub, lighting my candles and having some wine or something like that. It's just like we're just in the house all together, everybody all at once. And then everybody has a different need. Let's play this game. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's watch this movie. Let's do this. And it's just like, like I just need some time. Like I just need some space. And so me setting that boundary for my me time was very important. I really needed my me time so that I could really decompress from everything that was going on in the household. And, you're cooking all day long because
Right.
you're at home. So, you're not going out to eat, you're not ordering anything, you're not doing that. This was in the early, in the early stages. We weren't going out to eat, we weren't ordering anything. Everything was at home. We make one grocery run, one huge grocery haul, Lysol everything down, wipe everything down before putting it away in the fridge or putting it away in the pantry and things like that. And it just was, it got to be a lot. And it was really overwhelming having everybody in the same house all at the same time, which sounds crazy because it's like, oh, but you're a family.
Right.
Yeah, but we all have different schedules and we all have different things that we're doing. So that's how it was for me.
And I brought it up because I think during this time of the pandemic, for me, I got to reflect more on boundaries. And that's why I'm glad you brought up this topic, because it's a really big deal for me in my personal life. And at this time, I was reflecting on things, of me saying no.
Yeah.
Like, what have I outgrown in a relationship? What I didn't want to take anymore.
Hmm.
So this was like very big for me because I feel like it was the stepping stone of where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I've gotten better
Yeah, for
to
sure.
say no. It's some things that I kept allowing to happen
Mhm.
um, instead of saying no because I was afraid of being alone,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when you do put boundaries up, let's face it, sometimes most people will leave, you know, and they'll leave your life.
Right. Because
So I was afraid of being alone. I was codependent
mhm,
on, I think that was a very big stepping stone for me. So definitely the pandemic allowed me to reflect on what it was that I really wanted in life
yeah,
and what I was not willing to accept anymore.
and that's
So,
good. That shows a lot of growth, and it's great that you got that time in order to do that. Here's some examples of setting boundaries. Some things to say. You always have the right to say no. When doing so, express yourself clearly without ambiguity, and so there's no doubt about what it is that you want. So some of the things that you can say when you're setting boundaries are, I'm not comfortable with that. Please don't do that. Not at this time. I can't do that for you. This doesn't work for me. I've decided not to. This is not acceptable. I'm drawing the line at, I don't want to do that.
yeah.
So those are some really powerful words that you can use. And if you use them in a way that is firm and not ambiguous, as we were saying in the earlier, just a few minutes
Yeah,
ago,
you don't have to be mean and rude about it.
exactly. You're just clearly stating the facts simply, and that's just what it is. Period.
Hmm.
Period.
And if people can't respect that, I mean, then if they leave your life, they leave. They were never meant to stay.
Exactly.
So I learned to accept that
Yes.
throughout the years. If you don't want to stick with me and my boundaries, I'm sure you have boundaries too, and I'm willing to respect it
Yeah.
because boundaries is a form of respect at
Yes.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if I can be respectful to you and respect your boundaries, then I expect the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some other things to do, to use confident body language, face the other person, make eye contact, use a steady tone of voice at an appropriate volume, not too quiet and not too loud. Be
Mhm.
respectful, which is something that you just said. Avoid yelling, using put downs, or giving the silent treatment. It's okay to be firm, but your message will be better received if you're respectful. So that just goes back to what you were saying earlier about respect. And respect is
Mhm.
received and respect is given. And if you come at someone in a disrespectful manner, you can't expect to receive treatment that's going to be in a respectful manner if you start out the situation and the conversation wrong.
Absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
you have all type of boundaries, physical boundaries, emotional boundaries. I mean, I believe there's a very big it's a big thing with emotional boundaries because you can't tell people how to feel.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Like if I feel a certain way, you can't tell me,
That I
I
can't
can
do
feel
that.
this way. No, this
Right.
is how I feel about it. Now you
Yeah.
can listen to me and, give me feedback or, you know,
You hear what
I'm very
and you can hear
receptive
what
to
I'm saying.
feedback.
Yeah, and you can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And there's always the we can agree to disagree, but that agree to disagree still has to be managed with a level of respect. Just because you don't
absolutely.
agree with what I'm saying doesn't mean that you have to get disrespectful and start gaslighting and start being rude and start getting negative and taking the conversation in a whole toxic type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the part about, you have to allow people to feel how they feel. You can't control someone's feelings. That's within them. That's inside of them. So how
Mm-hmm.
they feel is how they feel. The only thing that you can control is how you respond and how you react to how they feel. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? They can try to draw you in with their feelings and all their negative emotions and all their toxicity and try to keep that cycle going because they're feeling a certain way. And some people are very manipulative, and they're very, very much wanting to just draw you into that whole state of negative energy, and that tends to be the thing that takes us out of our character. When we get taken
Exactly.
out of our character, it's usually because of a situation like that. And if there is no going back and forth, it's your firm, that's it. We're not going back and forth about it. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Some other
And
things some other things are, plan ahead. Think about what you want to say and how you will say it before entering a difficult conversation. This can help you feel more confident about your position. And I am someone that likes to do that. I like to reflect on a situation and think about a situation before I just go and address it.
right.
Because I just go and address it, a lot of times I'm just going and I'm addressing it off of emotions, and I'm not looking at the overall picture. I'm not looking at the boundaries that I'm setting for myself, or I've set for myself, and I'm not looking at the other person and what potential boundaries they may have, and the way that I might be speaking to them, the way that I might be talking to them. So planning ahead and thinking about what I'm going to say and having an idea of what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it is very helpful, and it helps minimize that negative blowback that you get when you just come at somebody, all hyped up and you all mad and you in your emotions and in your feelings.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been there before.
I think
Look,
we've
I've
all been
been at, I try to work on how I react
there. Hmm.
with my emotions. And I talked about it in a podcast one time about controlling your emotions,
Hmm.
because you really just don't want to react off your emotions. You want to think about it,
Yeah.
before you start rambling.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I ramble sometimes.
just going
Sometimes I
on,
did.
just going on and going on and going on.
Uh,
Some other things to do are compromise when appropriate. Listen and consider the needs of the other person. You never have to compromise, but give and take is part of any healthy relationship. And I think that that's so important, because I think that you really need to choose your battles. You need
right,
to choose the things that you allow to upset you and affect you in a negative way. This is where you kind of have to have a tough skin or a thick skin. This is where you don't take things personally. Just because you feel that way and you're going through this experience, that has nothing to do with me. And that's a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately, through a friendship that is no longer in existence. I had to learn the hard way that just because this person was feeling these different things and going through all this stuff, they were projecting all of that onto me. And it had me feeling, all kinds of put out and, put down. And at the end of the day, I just felt like I had been used, like they had just taken advantage of the situation.
ooh,
And I realized that, hey, that whole thing wasn't about me. I didn't do anything wrong in this situation. That was about them. And that was
right,
a tough lesson to learn. I mean, and it hurt because I didn't expect this from this person, but it happened. And I had to think about it. I had to think about what went down, what the situation was. And then I went back through all the different times and all the different things that had gone on during the friendship. And I realized that it really was way more one-sided than what a friendship should be. It should be two-sided. It should be you're communicating with me, I'm communicating with you. The phone works two ways. Like, it shouldn't just be me calling you all the time and texting you all the time and seeing what you're doing all the time. But anytime you need something, I'm the first person that you call, because you know that I'm going to say yes. And because I never set any boundaries of saying no, I was just always there because I wanted to be helpful. And it's in my nature to be helpful. If I see somebody going through something, I never want to see anybody go through anything. So I thought I was really being helpful, but in the end, I was only hurting myself, and I was the one that wound up getting hurt in the end. So
Yeah, I think we all pretty much, well, I myself have experienced being used. It's where I felt like I was used, like in experiences I that I've had. And it's usually not you, it's that person intellectually, but it's the other way around. If it was you, then it would be you. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Not like a blaming game.
right,
Let's not do the blaming game.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? If it's you, it's just you.
right,
But now I have learned to say no.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I love you. It's cool. But no.
But no,
Yeah, no.
no,
I'm very picky now about people that I let in my personal space,
yeah,
you know. Um, Not that I'm trying to be mean or I'm trying to, push my friends away or anything like that. No. I'm just real picky with it because I know that what I expect and stuff like that, you can't expect certain things from people because you're a different person.
right,
But I know who to keep close to me
right,
because I don't have time, for the extra stuff.
right.
As far as having people use me, I think I've been through that for way too far long for me not to learn my lesson and just let it keep going and going and going.
Yeah,
So yes, I had to reflect on a lot of things and start saying no.
yeah.
No.
And you should find yourself in a more peaceful place and in a more protected place, because you don't have to worry about different people invading your space, and
Exactly.
invading your time, and absorbing your energy and sucking the energy out of you.
Hey, and that requires energy. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to protect my energy. I'm trying to protect my energy. I'm trying to protect my baby's energy. I have 5 babies. I got to protect them too.
yeah.
So that's my job. And no, it's just no. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to speak to me ever again. I still love you, but you just have to keep it moving because
Yeah,
I have to keep it moving.
yeah. I think we all have to do that. And I think when we recognize, and a lot of us, unfortunately, we learn the hard way. Like, if we knew just going into a situation that we had the right to say no, and that we had the right to say no without worrying about how other people were going to feel and how other people were going to react to it, then it would have saved us from a lot of these experiences that we've had, unfortunately. But at the same time, I say
Well,
that,
people are not going to really tell you who they are.
right,
And let me tell you something too. That's not to say, oh, we don't I don't want to change you. I
right,
want you to continue being you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's difference with behaviors
yeah.
because this is a behavior.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to change you and you don't have to change for me. By all means, if that's who you are, just keep it moving. Obviously, you can't be in this space right here.
Right. Right.
It's the reason why.
You can be who you are, do what you do, but you can't do it over here.
Absolutely.
Can't do
But I do demand more respect,
Yeah. Because
because I feel like I am a good person overall. Am I perfect? No. Do I have flaws? Of course.
yeah.
A lot.
But you
But
teach
that's why I work on myself.
and people how to teach you how to treat you. When you teach people how to treat you by setting those boundaries, that prevents these things from happening in the future.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, I can't come to Dominique with that BS. She's not having it. Oh no, I can't come to Brenna with that. She's gonna be like, oh hell no. Like it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And then in your
Mm-hmm.
intimate relationships, you also have the right to say no to certain things, but be open to conversation. And then that's when you have to determine whether or not you are going to be in a position of compromise, because like I said, you have to choose your battles, especially when you're in a relationship. You have to really determine what is worth us
Spending your time on.
spending our time on. Is this worth my energy, or is this not worth my energy? And if it's not worth my energy, then I'm not doing it. If it's not worth my energy, then I'm not doing it, because at the end of the day, I'm tired. I've used a lot of energy for a lot of different things, and I just don't have the time to be wasting energy on unnecessary things and things that don't show to be in my favor or
Yeah,
to be
and
helpful.
absolutely. And you keep allowing people, instead of saying no, just to step on you over and over and over again if you don't set no boundaries.
Right.
So it's best to set them and have a clear view picture of what of what you're expecting. And I mean, again, it's not to change anybody. You could continue to be who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just can't be in this space because I'm going to demand that respect.
Right.
Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bottom line.
and I did want to ask a question.
Yeah.
I wonder, what do successful people get right when it comes to boundaries? Because obviously they're doing something right.
They are doing something right. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with definitely setting their boundaries, but also having the right people around them. Having the right people around you helps keep you focused, it helps keep you grounded, and it helps keep your eye on the prize. If you have goals, if you have aspirations, you have things that you're trying to accomplish, and you have things that you're trying to achieve. When you have the right people around you, they're going to uplift and they're going to support you, and they're going to be giving you that good energy and that good vibe that you need to thrive in order to head towards that direction of success and to make it. When you're around people that are energy vampires, as I like to call them, it holds you down. It keeps you back. It keeps you from propelling forward. If you say, oh, I'm going to go on to this new venture, I'm going to start this new business, great. How can I help? What do you need me to do? What's your business plan? Like, what's step one? What's step two? What's the next thing that's going on? Like, I'm in your corner. I
And
got,
I don't think they spend they're very picky with their time.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Their,
that have to be one.
their time is very precious and very, 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 very valuable. Precious and valuable.
So you definitely need boundaries for structure,
Yeah.
to have structure. And like you said at the beginning, it prevent chaos. If you don't have any boundaries, you're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be crying all
God,
the time. That's
God.
how I was.
Just
Crying all the
going
time,
through it.
blaming,
Going through it.
doing all type of stuff.
Asking why and why me and how come and why this and why that, and your life is just in such a state of disarray, and it's like you can't figure it out until you start realizing, like, a what am I doing? And the first thing that you realize is, oh, I'm saying yes to everything. Everything that I'm being asked to do, I'm doing it. And I'm not taking any time for myself. I'm not doing anything for myself that helps me become centered or to stay centered. Giving, 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 not getting anything back. So I've become depleted. And so
Exactly.
now I'm disfocused. I
So
can't.
now your anxiety is all
Yeah,
over the place.
I'm disfocused. I'm anxious. I'm like, I can't make a decision. I can't think straight. I mean, it's very chaotic. And when you don't have firm boundaries in place and firm boundaries in line and a routine that you have set for yourself, it's just not going to be a good outcome. You're going to be struggling for a long time and wondering why you're struggling. And the answer is right within yourself. You have the ability and you have the power to set the boundaries. You have the ability, you have the power to feel how you feel. The other people in your lives, they have the ability to feel how they feel too. They can set their boundaries too. Respect is respect. As long as you respect me, I'm going to respect you. We're not going to have any problems. If you have a problem with me, you come to me and you tell me, hey, Brenna, I didn't like this. I didn't like when you said this. I did da da da. When you did this, I didn't like it. Da 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 da. Okay, I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry I made you feel that way. An actual I'm sorry. Because
Right.
those half-ass apologies to me don't mean anything. When somebody's like, oh, I'm sorry if I made you feel a certain way. No, you did make me feel a certain way. Not if you
Yeah.
did make me feel a certain way. Apologize for that.
Yeah.
That's
Because again, you can't tell people how to feel.
mhm,
And I had to set boundaries in my relationship, and look what happened. Like the behaviors didn't change.
right.
Um so I had to do what was right,
Yeah,
which is fine. It's done.
right. Right.
Let's move on.
And let's move on. And you're still here.
Yes.
You're still here.
Thank God.
You have any closing thoughts for our podcast tonight?
Um, no, I mean, oh yes, I do. Um, Guys, just know that not setting boundaries, and because you're afraid, or they're doing the guilt trip or whatever, gives that person the power over you,
Right.
and you don't want that.
Right.
You definitely want to keep your power. Don't let nobody dictate, how it should be or what it's going to be. People grow all the time.
Yeah.
So if you outgrew a person, could be anybody, your friend, your
Yeah.
boyfriend, your husband, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you have to set boundaries, and if they don't respect it, then that means they don't want to be part of your life.
Mm-mm. They sure don't.
Because if I wanted to be part of someone's life, I'm definitely gonna respect them,
Mm-hmm.
and if that's what it takes, then of course we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we got a Facebook comment that says, hey, you guys. So, hey, Facebook
Hello.
guys, we're
Does
back.
it say who the person is?
No, it just says Facebook user.
Okay. Hi, we're glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
It feels good.
Glad that you could join us. Can't wait to get into next Sunday's conversation. I know it's going to be a good one, Dominique. You'll be
Yeah.
moderating that one. So we appreciate you guys for sticking with us and for supporting us and for holding on while we were on our hiatus. But we are back now every Sunday at 9 p.m. You can check us out on Facebook. We got a Facebook group, Real Chill Conversations is the group. Go ahead and join it. Our Instagram is Real Chill Conversations. Our YouTube page, subscribe to that. Go ahead and follow that. And then our individual social medias are posted up all over our flyers and our posts that we've been putting up promoting tonight's episode. So
That's right.
y'all make sure y'all check us out. And until next Sunday,
Bye-bye, you guys.
bye guys. Thanks for tuning in and watching. We'll see you next week.
Peace
Bye.
out.